Alright, what is going on, New York Giant fans? Apologies for not having this video done at camp, but when your phone's on 6%, you'd like to conserve that just in case you have an emergency coming from training camp, and my car does not have one of those, plug-in chargers for iPhones. Nonetheless, we're here to recap the fourth day of Giants training camp for the 2024 session, and let's get into it. We'll start with the lineup things, and then we'll go basic takeaways, and everything else at the end. And footage, too. Footage is always included at the end. But let's get into it. So, as far as lineup goes and all that stuff, I'll start with some transactions. The New York Giants cut Nathan Rourke, the fourth quarterback on the roster. He didn't get much burn in camp the first 3 days, and they cut him. I guess he was an extra body, and Brian Daboll said it's going to be 3 quarterbacks the rest of the way. Now, what also comes out of that is the New York Giants signed a cornerback by the name of Breon Borders. He's not like, anyone fancy. He's not great or anything. He's a guy who has a Shane Bowen connection. So we'll see how far that goes. He's been with a number of teams. So again, probably just a camp body at corner. And the biggest one is Theo Johnson coming off the PUP list. He was impactful today. I will talk about that when we get to it. With that being said, moving down, Tyler Nubin was out again today. He was out with a calf injury. So again, not good, but he's getting better. He's getting better in terms of his progress coming back. John Michael Schmitz was limited. I don't even want to say limited, I'm going to be honest with you, because he was not at practice. Maybe he was in like individual drills, but as far as team drills, you had like 3 different centers, maybe even 4. So moving forward, Austin Schloedman and Jimmy Morrissey, both separately, were in at center. They also got John Runyon at center at some point, and they moved in Jalen Mayfield and Jay Kubis at right guard. So it's pretty much when a guy gets injured, Daboll has more of an open mind as, okay, this guy can come in and compete, and this guy can as well. It's kind of like a mixed rotation. It gives an opportunity, an equal opportunity for some of these guys in different spots, in different parts of the lineup. Marcellus Johnson even got some burn at right guard, which he hadn't since his days in Missouri, which was last year. But specifically to go over some of the second and third team line adjustments, left tackle was Josh Azudu, Jay Kubis at left guard, Jimmy Morrissey at center, Jalen Mayfield at right guard, and Yannick Kajewski at right tackle. Then you move to the O-line number 3. You got Joshua Miles, Marcus McKeithen, Austin Schloedman, Marcellus Johnson, and Matt Nelson. And Alex Johnson, the undrafted free agent out of UCLA, actually got some safety reps. He hasn't gotten too many corner reps, but he's got some safety reps under his belt after today. Let's see, what else? Isaiah Simmons was actually rotating in at linebacker 2 alongside Micah McFadden to pair with Bobby Okereke, so that's notable. Andrew Phillips was actually the starting slot corner in today's practice. Sorry for the moving and grooving of the camera, by the way. I'm usually better with this in the car, but Andrew Phillips was the slot corner. Now, he did get burned on a deep throw by Daniel Jones to, I want to say, Jalen Hyatt, but he also made a nice play on what could have been a pick 6. Daniel Jones threw a screen to Wan'Dale Robinson. It was batted up in the air by Andrew Phillips. So there's that. Talking about Breon Borders, talked about Jalen Mayfield, and something to note, again, we'll see how it comes in terms of the injuries and stuff like that through the preseason, but Brian Daboll pretty much said he cannot commit to Evan Neal for week 1. So he's getting close, but there's no commitment in terms of that. So some practice notes. Let's start out with the quarterback. Daniel Jones, I'm going to be completely fair and objective. Daniel Jones, the start of the practice, he probably had the worst amount of reps that I've seen ever since I watched Jones in training camp. Now, obviously not 2020, not 2021, but he was missing guys wide open. He was throwing behind guys. And this is worse than some of the days I've seen this year. He missed 2 deep shots to Malik Neighbors. He was 2 for 4 in the first series, 2 being deep throws that he missed. Another underthrown pass. There was another one. I think it was Hyatt or Robinson. I want to say it was Jalen Hyatt, and he underthrew him, which was bad. And then you have the screen that could have been a pick 6 for Daniel Jones throwing it to Wan'Dale Robinson and could have been picked off by Andrew Phillips, but it didn't. He did get better, though. He did get better, and it was a gradual improvement towards the end of practice. He had a very nice deep ball slot fade to Malik Neighbors down the right sideline. And then also he had a nice ball to Jalen Hyatt along the left sideline where Andrew Phillips was beat. So that's a very good improvement from Daniel Jones towards the end of practice. We would like to see that at the beginning of practice, though. And our questions, is it a confidence thing? Is it Daniel Jones not wanting to drive off of that leg and the plant foot? Obviously, we'll see throughout the rest of the practices whether he can make that adjustment, but he looked very shaky. He looked very, very shaky at the beginning of practice, but I'm glad he made the gradual improvement at the end of practice. And he was even working on the other practice field after the practice had ended. Theo Johnson. Now, we can talk about Malik Neighbors. We can talk about all these other different guys. Theo Johnson, to me, stood out. Now, he was not with the first team too much. He was with the second team. Drew Lock's first pass of the day went to Theo Johnson on a seam route. Towards the end of practice, he threw a seam route wide open to Theo Johnson, covered by Darius Misal. I think Theo Johnson's going to be really special for the Giants after the two practices. Now, again, I could be wrong and something could happen and he may not live up to his full potential, but you saw what he did at Penn State. If Bellinger is more of a blocker, Theo Johnson is more of an open man in the middle of the field. And he beat Darius Misal. I would like to see him with first-team reps, Daniel Jones, and the linebackers like Simmons, McFadden, and Okereke covering him. So that's notable. Third-team O-line, not great. I saw Tommy DeVito have to escape the pocket a little bit more. So there's that. Cordell Flott, in my opinion, definitely the last two training camp days has taken advantage of Daniel Jones' shitty underthrows, but that's just my personal opinion. Trey Herndon had a nice pass breakup. Got to note that as far as the competition for corner goes. Nick McLeod, he was mainly with the second team in the slot, so everybody's moving around pretty much. Ryder Anderson and Nacho it was rotating in with Dex. So those are the guys really leading the charge for that DT2 spot. So that's pretty much that. Not too many takeaways, but some in chunks, some just little spurts. But we'll be back at training camp tomorrow before we head to Philadelphia for the Yankees game, and then I should be back on Tuesday. So hope you guys like these videos, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. For any of the practice footage that may not be on here, I'm pretty sure all of it's going to be on here in this video. But if it's not, check Twitter. Appreciate everybody who's followed me on Twitter. I know it's a lot of negative reactions to Daniel Jones, some positive, but nonetheless, I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Three tight ends, 5 wide. What are we doing with this? Throw it deep, the job. Team out there before. All right, cover zero, look. Backs off. Throw it to Theo. Throw it to Theo. Complain about somebody. Here we go. Good pocket. Come on, stop making Theo Johnson block. Passion was just like your hobby. Yes. Johnson down, Owens deep.